Alright everybody, welcome. I wanted to shoot a video. I'm not going to say it's going to be quick because every time I say it's going to be quick, it's not. Anyway, the video I want to make right now is, it's aimed at guys like me, and I know there's lots of guys like me out there. Guys who are at home doing hobby stuff like this, and the reality of doing hobby guitar work. So whether you're doing setups, or lacquering, or painting, or finishing, or mods, or whatever it is that you're doing at home with guitars, the reality for lots of guys like me is that you don't have a lot of disposable income to spend on this sort of stuff. And so rather than stare at my face for this whole video, I'm going to give you a quick look around and really try to give you a good look at what the reality of actually doing this stuff is. Because it's expensive, it's time consuming, but it's super fun. So let's have a little look around. Those of you who've been following me for a long time probably noticed that I swap in and out guitars like most people change underwear. So I'm always swapping, trading, buying, selling, but I lose tons of money. I'm not a dealer. I'm not one of these guys who buys stuff cheap and then tries to mark it up and sell it and make a profit. I'm not that guy. I don't like those guys. For lots of reasons I don't like those guys. But anyway, so this morning, as most mornings, I'm having my coffee, and there's a new video from one of my faves on YouTube here, Mr. Ben Crow at Crimson Guitars. Love this guy. He is just the absolute bomb. He's doing a fret level, so even though I'm comfortable doing this sort of stuff now, I really, probably like many of you, would definitely like some of these professional tools. So he's doing a fret level here, I think. If you're watching me, you've probably watched this video.
For a second, I almost forgot.
So he's doing a nice fret level there with that nice tool that he makes. And I gotta tell you what, I must have emailed this guy a dozen times in the last year to try to get him to sell me one of these things. Because the truth is, when I gave up my IT job, I also gave up my personal credit card. And my wife's credit card is for her business, so I cannot use that stuff for personal things. So buying his stuff online is essentially impossible for me because I don't have a credit card. So I either have to try and email him the cash or buy them some other way. Because I can't just walk into a store and buy this stuff. So it's basically impossible for me to acquire these things right now, at the moment. So anyway, so I've both asked him if he would let me pay cash with an email transfer or some other way that we could arrange this stuff. And truthfully, I also asked him if he would consider sponsoring my channel and sending me out a promotional tool or two. And I gotta tell you what, he's obviously a busy guy. I've never gotten really any response to that. He has responded to me a couple of times. In his defense, he has responded to me a couple of times, but it's just never gone anywhere. And I don't think he's keen to be sending out promotional stuff to somebody small time like me. So, it is what it is. Maybe I just don't have enough subscribers. So, the rest of the reality of this is that you end up with, if you're like me, a room like this. Like, I've taken over my entire basement to do this shit. This went from the little corner. If you've watched my early videos, I had a desk up there in the corner and migrated its way into the basement, and it's turned into this. This is just, it's out of control. Well, it's out of control in a good way. You can see here, it's just a sea of guitars. It's just a sea of never-ending guitars, parts, tools, bits. It's out of control. It's taken me a year to get to this point, but I am fully and completely out of control. Now, I'm still missing tons of specialty tools. I just would love to have, and that's why I create a lot of my own specialty tools. That's why I try to fab up my own little specialty tools where I can, because of my limitations. I can't just order this stuff online. I can't, because I don't have a credit card anymore. So I've made myself a radius gauge. So I've made a fret leveling beam. I took a super straight level and I glue 400 onto it every time I want to use it. I actually cut this off. This was super long. This was like a 2 or 3 foot level. But it's a nice aluminum level, super flat. It's great for fret leveling. I might cut myself off a small one, just for when I do the rolling over of the bottom few frets. Because that's one thing I learned from Ben, was rolling over the bottom 5 or 6 frets to get rid of the fret level, then you can ride your action really low. So I do that to nearly every one of my guitars. All my guitars have the bottom 5 or 6 frets rolled over, just exactly the way Ben does. That's a great trick. And I can ride the action on every single Strat I own super low. So I run all my action super, super low, and I don't have any fret buzz at all. So I've gotten really good at doing fret levels with these, because I've now done probably 50 of them. So I'm getting pretty good at that, and pretty fast. And I also have, oh, where's my little, there we go. That's another one I created. That's going to be hard to see. So I have completely ground flat and smooth the edges of this little cheap file. So these are those little needle nose files you buy in a package of, I think, 6. Comes with a few different shapes. You got like a round one, a square one, a triangle one, a couple of flat ones like this. So what I've done was, I was using this file, but I found that I was using this file on its own after I ground over the edges, but I found that what I've been doing is I've been gluing little bits of 300 to this, and this works great. So on either side, I think I've got 300 here and maybe 400 there. I can't remember. But anyway, so that just rips off, and I can replace that, and I've got nice ground edges so I don't dig into my fingerboard. So like, I made that for nothing, right? This is how I get around having to have a lot of these specialty tools. You're all hopefully familiar with this crazy thing, right? Like, I made this with the digital calipers. I just measured out, I preset my measurements, and then I just whacked it over the end. I actually still use this a fair bit, but I was at Crappy Tire and I noticed this. This measures in 30 seconds, so this one's pretty good. The other thing I fight doing this YouTube channel, lights. My lighting blows. This is the basement. It was way better upstairs, but I just don't have the room to do this upstairs, so I fight lighting like crazy. I have one of these things, I got overhead lights, I got a bunch of these, like, I've rescued a bunch of broken lamps, honestly. Like, these were broken lamps in my wife's office. All this shit was broken and not working, so I rewired all these cheap little broken lamps so I could stick a bulb in them. I've got one down there, it fell down. I got another one over there. So it's just some of the stuff I fight doing this YouTube channel. And this year, I'm trying to improve a lot of things, including my skills. I'm trying to improve my lighting, my skills, my video quality, my editing. But I just wanted to give everybody a little sneak peek at what it's actually like to do this as a hobby, and what it's like to do this YouTube channel and some of the things that you fight. And of course, even recording. I mean, it's so hard to give a demo of how awesome this amp sounds. So there we go. This is what I'm using. This is what I've been using to record sound, and it's honestly the best thing I've been able to manage. Because I have some more expensive mics, and I did have one of those units that plugs into your computer and converts all the signal and everything. But I just never managed to get that piece of shit to work. Anyway, so I've sold that unit. I still have the microphones, but this thing, guess what this is? So this thing's hilarious. So this is a Rock Band mic. It's USB. Want to know where I got it? Out of the trash. Honest. I walk my kids to school every day, and at some point during this summer, somebody had this microphone, this stand, and a Rock Band guitar just sitting out on the front of the lawn. And generally, I don't know how it works where you live, but here in Canada, and especially here where I live, if you're just giving something away, especially if it's in the summer, you just throw it out by the curb. Somebody will come along and fetch it. I thought, you know what? It's worth grabbing. It's a USB mic. Let's see if I can get it to work. And honestly, it's how I've been doing most of my sound recording. So with a bit of massaging afterward in Final Cut Pro, I can get a decent sound. It's no Captain and Chapper sound, that's for sure. But it's what I'm dealing with at the moment, because this stuff is expensive. So I guess what I want to say here is, I mean, I get a lot of comments about my techniques and the tools that I'm using and stuff that I'm fighting. Stuff that kind of right now, based on my situation, is out of my control just because of either financial reasons or what have you. And I'm getting to a point where I've been able to keep all of this stuff out of the family budget. I started off with two guitars when I started doing this. One American Strat and one Studio Les Paul. And I've traded and sold my way to 1, 2, 3, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 guitars. There's at least 8 or 9 guitars kicking around here. And that to me is way more fun. It's way more fun having 9 guitars than it is 2. And it's way more fun having 9 cheap guitars that I can do anything I want to, that I don't necessarily worry about screwing up or wrecking, because I know I can fix it, or I can do something with it, or I can reuse the parts. It's way more fun for me now. And I've got all these guitars playing exactly the way I want them, so they play well. I play everything that's working nearly every day. But I'm getting to a point where cash is really becoming an issue. And I'm not going to be the guy who gets on YouTube asking his subscribers for money. I'm just not. If you've done that in the past, if you're a YouTuber who's gone on and asked for money, I don't have anything against you. I'm just not that guy. I'm not going to be the guy who gets on and asks for donations for shit. But here's what I need your help with. I really, really want some of Ben Crow's tools from Crimson Guitars. Please help me beg him for some of his tools. Let's see if we can bug Ben to send me some of his tools. I don't know. Maybe if we all get together and send him a message and say, hey, send Nelson some of your tools. Come on, man. Be that guy. Be a nice guy. Send him some tools. Send him, he needs a fret leveler, fret crowning, straight edge, notched straight edge, fret files. I could use all that stuff. But if he would send me just one of those things, I would be ecstatic. And Ben, if you're watching this video, and I'm sure you're not watching somebody small time like me, please, dude, I'm begging you. I'll pay you some way. I'll email you the money. Please. I really would love some of those tools to start doing more professional work. Not just on my stuff, but on the people I do free work for. Yeah, it's time. It's time to get some pro tools. It really is. So, maybe this will work. Alright, so we're actually quite a few hours later after I've recorded this video. I've been editing it, trying to get it down from, I think it was, oh god, nearly 50 minutes. So I'm at 13 minutes, and I hate to extend this video any further, but I realize I need to clear up a few things here about what I'm saying in this video. Please don't go annoy Ben to give me tools. I know that's what I'm asking, but if you do send Ben a message, be kind, don't be a jerk. I'm not asking anybody to go and annoy Ben. If you do send a message to Ben on my behalf, asking him kindly, I hope, and respectfully, just be nice about it. That's all. I don't want a bunch of people. I realize that I've basically just asked a bunch of people to go annoy somebody, and I don't want that. I don't want people going to piss off Ben on my behalf. If you do want to help me, send him a kind message, be respectful, and hopefully please be respectful if you do send him anything on my behalf. I mean, I was kind of joking, but I'm kind of not. But I also kind of don't want my 1,500 subscribers all emailing Ben with something nasty. So if you do contact him, if you do drop him a note or anything like that, I would be most appreciative, but please be respectful.